Recording. Okay, so thanks everybody. Today, I think we're going to try to do some live collaborating here. So what I'd like to have people do is I'm going to make a quick sketch of things, and I'm going to divide this up into 4 subsystems in a sense, and then we will have each of you CAD the subsystem, and then we'll bring it all together by the end. This is going to be just really rough CAD, so I don't want to spend too much time on getting every detail right, but let's just start. I'm going to do a screen share here. Share my screen. So let's do it in the Slack channel so that everybody can get access to it. So in the Slack CAD channel, so this is going to be, here is, of the CAD for tonight. Okay, so what kind of well, we need a chassis. Let's just pick some dimensions. Somebody, Owen or Silver, somebody give me some robot dimensions. So
You
what
want
do you
like
think?
any dimensions at all?
Yeah, we have to start with something. This
Uh,
is
25 by 25.
25 by 25. Okay, cool. All right. So this is the all right. 25 by 25. And then what about, let's imagine we're gonna have an intake, something like it's gonna be a ball intake, right? So we want to have a ball intake. And how do we want it to be like just a pivot out and pivot back? Let me start drawing on here. So we want to have something. So what's the easiest way to do this? I'm going to go into, I'm not going to annotate. I'm going to go into like a little sketch pad thing that I can draw on. So here, make a new file, oh, you know what? We can do it in a whiteboard. Forget about that. Hang on a minute, then everyone can see it. Do it in a whiteboard. Where am I? I go to the meeting here. How do I add a whiteboard? Somebody help me out. Where is the whiteboard? Apps? No, I don't want an app. Does anybody know what I'm doing? Do I have to stop sharing in order to see the whiteboard? That might be
You
true.
have to stop the share in order to
All right.
use the Zoom whiteboard.
Huh. All right. That's annoying. So make a new whiteboard. Allow persistent access to verify media. Yeah.
Why?
Great.
Stop. Actually, stop,
Hi,
bro.
Zachariah.
What's happening?
Oh, my bad.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm
All
sorry if
right.
I was a bit late.
Hey, welcome. Okay, so everyone should be able to draw here. That's good. So we've already decided that our robot is going to be, wow, this is not, I just want to do it with a pen. Our robot is going to be 25 by 25. And then I'm going to make a side view here. So we should have a pivot, and we'll have some kind of an intake thing that pivots up here and is supposed to grab balls. Okay, so whoever's making the intake has got to put this, has got to build that. Then what else do we need on this robot? Somebody else give me a thing that robots have. So this is 25 by 25. Nobody? So this is our front view. This is our side view. This is our top view. Okay. So what else can it? So we want to have, this is the intake. We'll have basically it'll have some rollers, for balls. We're just gonna say balls. How about if we have like a tub here, right? So somebody's got to make the tub. And then what other things could we have? A shooter, maybe? Does that
Shooter
sound,
sounds
do we
good.
have enough time to be able to, let's see, what would we do with a shooter? With a shooter, we could end up having, sure, the shooter would end up having something like this with a roller here. And I don't know how we'll get them in, but we'll right now we're just doing Cartoon CAD. Okay, so what I need people to start doing is we're gonna have we have 5 people now, but let's can we break it up? Well, you know what, some people can just start making some of let's see. We have a chassis. That's gonna be 25 by 25. Oh, let's have the bumpers on here too. Somebody else can make the bumpers. Okay. So we need bumpers also. So what I'd like everyone to do is to go into the directory that we're going to work in. We're all going to work in that class directory. Hang on, I'm going to. Can I share? And if I share my screen, we'll close the whiteboard for everyone. No, this is really annoying. I can't really do this. I can't be sharing and whiteboarding. How can we get this someplace that people can see it? Can somebody cut and paste this into the Slack channel? So we basically will have 5 things that people need to build. We need to build a robot chassis. That's just the 25 by 25. Somebody needs to build a bumper. Somebody needs to build something that's like our intake.
Posted.
Okay, cool. Now I can close the whiteboard. I can do a share here. Okay. My screen. Cool. Okay, so we want a ball intake. We are going to have we're going to have bumper. Darn it, I didn't mean to hit enter. I got to do edit now somehow. Edit this, edit. So edit, shift enter. We have an intake, we have ball intake, we have a tub, and we have the shooter. Okay. So we need to basically have people grab the various things. Why don't we have the bumpers are bumpers have a 1/4 inch, 1/8 inch gap, and they're, what are they, 5 inches tall, and they're 2.5 diameter tubes. And what's the other thing that somebody else's it's 0.75 inch plywood. Okay. So people should, so I want, okay, so where we're gonna go now, I can get back to where I was doing here. So go to Onshape. Do I have any Onshapes open? I don't think so yet. CAD, but Onshape, yes. Okay, so we should work in Joe folder. Everyone can work in Joe folder. In fact, we'll make another folder inside of there. Create folder. We're going to call it Cartoon Robot Class. All right, so everybody should work in that one class, and everyone should make, so whoever is going to take the various things should create things in here, and we'll all be able to see them. So we can create the first one is just going to be called top level. All right, and it's going to have a thing in here. This is the one where people put it, but we also need to have, so everyone else needs to have, so we've got 5 people here. Everyone should be right now going to, let me put names next to things. So who wants the chassis?
Is this a swerve robot?
Right now, we're just going to make blocks. So
Okay.
yeah, you can make it a swerve robot if you want to, but at a minimum, you have to make blocks.
Okay.
So who wants it? Someone? All you have to do is to make a block that's going to be, I think our bumpers are 7 inches tall.
The top edge of them has to be 7 inches from the ground.
Yep.
That
People,
doesn't
you have
really
to
limit us
volunteer.
that much.
Yeah.
The 7 inches from the ground rule doesn't limit us too much because we can always put the things higher or lower.
Okay, and then we'll say the pivot is going to be, it needs to be is 23 inches wide, so it's less than it's got an inch on either side. We're gonna make it, I don't know, 12 inches long. The pivot to the end. And we need to have, we'll have 2-inch rollers. Okay, so I'm just going to assign somebody. Going once, going twice, nobody volunteers. Okay, so Owen, you're gonna make the chassis. Okay, and it's gonna be your 25 by 25. And I don't know, you want to make it out of 2 by 2? Not 2 by 2, 2 by 1 tube. Okay.
Yeah, that works.
Cool. And you'll have to somehow build up the pivots for the chassis also. So Owen, you can start designing that.
Nice.
Okay. Bumper. Why don't we have Yara Lynn? Why don't you take the bumper? Okay.
Okay.
So what do the construction for the bumper is yeah. Can I draw? I can annotate. Yeah, I can annotate on just a part of the screen, and you'll be able to see it. So when you make a bumper, you basically you have a piece of plywood that's 5 inches tall and 3/4 inches this way, and then you put you don't actually build it this way, but this is how it's built. Is that then we have like fiber going around this like this, right? So you really model it as something that looks like this, which is a terrible drawing, but that radius is 1.25. And then this from here to here is equal to 2.5 plus 3/4, so 3 1/4, because this thing is 3/4 that way, and this is 5 inches tall. Okay, so basically that's all you have to kind of you make it 5 inches tall, and it's got to go all the way around. Oh, and the chassis that's being designed by Owen, you want to have a 1/8 inch gap to it. So the inside of your bumper should be 25.25 by 25.25. Do you understand what I mean by that, Carolyn?
Yeah, kind of. I'll try.
Yeah. Okay. So you're going to start the bumper. All right. Good. Next, we want the intake. Silver, why don't you take the intake? All right. The intake, it should have some ears on it, that take up an inch, that are the pivots, and that should kind of bolt onto, we'll figure out how it'll bolt onto the chassis once we get it bond, but then you're going to end up having some arms and some rollers.
Sounds
Okay.
good to me.
All right, so you've got that. All right. Zachariah and Eamon, you two are left. You could either do the rollers or the tubs. Do either you have a preference?
I could do the tub.
Okay, the tub, cool. So what you should do on the tub, we said that this thing was 12 inches tall. Well, from that pivot, it was 12 inches tall, right? That's what I said here. So you kind of want to make a tub that fits on the back end of this. I don't know how tall. Let's put it 12 inches, sure. And then it's got to take up all the space. You'll have to negotiate with Silver to find out like how much space you can use to the front. But then, yeah, so your top view, it should just be a bucket. It should just be a bucket with walls that kind of look like, from the top view, it's just a square. From the, let me clear everything so you can kind of see what you need to do. And make it like 1/8 inch thick wall, 1/8 inch thick. So you want to make a tub that's 1/8 inch thick, clear all. Okay. So your top view is going to kind of look like this. And it'll have that 1/8 thick wall, what I'm not going to be able to draw. A side view would end up having something like this. And the front view would end up being something like this with the wall like that, so you could, anyway, do you kind of understand what I'm proposing?
Yeah.
Zachariah? Okay, so make that, and you want 1/8 inch thick wall. All right. So, Eamon, are you game or not? Are you willing to do what we've got left is the shooter. You're up. You got to type it. You got to type your answers to me. I've lost you.
He just said he'll try it.
Okay, so for the shooter, let's imagine that we're going to have try and make it have like an arc that's like 1 inch thick for the hood, and we'll have a roller that's maybe a 4-inch shooter roller. And what diameter tube are you using? What's our ball for intake? What's our ball size?
8-inch.
Silver. 8-inch ball. Okay, cool. All right. Eamon, can you give me a thumbs up or something to let me know you've heard me? I can't. It's not showing up. All right. Meanwhile, okay, cool. So, yeah, so I'm gonna basically stop annotating now. And if I go, I should be able to start seeing you guys doing things. Why can't I didn't do a clear before I finished annotating. Clear all drawings. Perfect. All right. Stop annotating. If I go to Onshape here, so we've got somebody has made a bumper. Somebody is Carolyn. Owen has made a chassis. I wonder what he's doing. I'm going to open up the chassis and I can see it while he's working on it. Okay. So cool. So far, so good. I'm going to stop doing that. Go back to here. We've got shooter. Cool. Silver, yours is not in this directory.
Check again.
There it is, top level. Okay. Chassis, bumper, shooter, intake. We now need what I forgotten one.
The tub.
I need to share it. Give me a second.
Okay.
Did you make the document in the folder?
Yeah, you
What?
should go into this folder and make it in this folder so that it turns out I'll be the owner of it, because that's just how it works. It makes whoever owns the folder own the parts.
What folder to make it in?
Go in up here. It's under Joe folder under Teams. If you go to Teams, Joe folder, and then from Joe folder, cartoon robot class, and then create once you're in this folder.
Okay.
Or if you've already created it, you can just move it to, I think you can move it to this folder. I think so. I think you're allowed to move it in, but you won't be able to move it out. If you wanted to move it out, I would have to make you
Yeah, I
the
think it's
owner
like
of it. Yeah. Okay, so let me do a refresh. Okay, cool. So if there are questions you guys have for each other, you can shout them out here or you can put them in the Slack channel. But the whole idea is we've got 1 hour left. We'd like to have something that would show assemblies. Now remember, I won't be able to, or whoever's going to actually pull these together. Right now, I'm in the top level. If I try to import anybody's things, so for instance, in order to I go to an assembly and I can then insert. If I go to all the other things that you guys have, if I go to other documents, I can go to so I can go in here. If I try to add anything, it's not going to let me because until you guys make a version, I can't even, you're not allowed to install it. You're not allowed to insert it into an assembly. So as soon as you guys have something that's worthy of being imported, make a version. Versions are free. Just make a version and then we'll be able to then import it in. So, yeah, so I mean, basically don't worry too much about the detail. Just make it kind of, this is more of a holding space problem. It isn't, you know, we're not really, this is not going to be like CAD we're really doing. What I wanted to do is sort of have people understand how we would need to communicate. So yeah, if you don't know how big to make something, you can either wait until the assembly happens or you can, you know, you can ask somebody in Slack, or you could ask somebody, because we're in a Zoom meeting right now, you could just ask them like, hey, how much room do you need for your intake? Or what was that again? What was the radius of that bumper? Things
Could
like
you
that.
explain the bumper again? I'm a little confused.
Ah, okay. So I should, if I go to what you're trying to make, I'm going to go to, open by me, I think, here's a robot, Diffie Jr. Okay. If I go to the top level of that, so this is what the bumper kind of looks like. It is, actually, I didn't make this bumper. This is the bumper that somebody else made. Let me go to a different one because, yeah, I don't think it's
If you
actually.
look at the 2023 summer or the
Yeah.
2023
Yeah.
main season, you'll find the bumpers that were made there.
Yeah, those would be better. So I'm going to go to 2023 summer robot. Sure. Top level.
Top level.
Perfect. Okay, so what we're trying to make, Carolyn, is we're trying to make basically this thing that goes around, and even this doesn't look like it's quite the right dimensions. But so the robot has a 25 by 25 space, and you need to like put a 1/4 inch extra space. I'm gonna go to the one that because I want one to actually be like I described to you. So how come it's not? Did my computer lock up? Teams, go to, where's our robot from last year? Under TJ. Charged Up CAD, summer robot? No. Rapid React, was that last year's robot, 2022? No. What was the robot from last year? I don't remember the name of it. Rapid React, Summer Swerve. 2023, so there's the fail. Where is 23, not Summer Robot, 2023 charged up CAD. Okay, if I open the top level on that one, here. So what we're trying to make is a none of these are actually modeled like the real bumpers are.
This one is.
Okay. So what we're trying to do is basically you need to make a box that goes around and then you radius the edges. You put rounds on the
okay.
edges.
So it's like around the whole thing.
Yeah, it goes around the whole thing. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So it was just CAD was waking up so long. This is it goes around the whole robot just like this. You're trying to make this piece right here, right? So
Okay.
and it needs to have a gap of 1/8 of an inch between the bumper the chassis, and it needs to be 5 inches tall. And you know, if you figure out all these, the robot is thinking to Onshape is thinking like mad here because this is a big file. But anyway, that radius there, if you were to know what that, if you were to, it's the 1.25. That's half of 2.5, because there's a tube inside here that has a radius, has a diameter of 2.5. So this is the cloth that would be like a 2.5. You know, that'd be covering like the outside of the donut.
So would the
anyway,
dimensions be 23 plus 1/8?
so the dimensions, okay, let me do annotate here for a second. So we have a robot that's a square that's 25, and you are going to make the inside of your square is going to be 25.25.
Oh, so 25 plus 1/8.
25 plus 1/8 plus 1/8, because it's got to be 1/8 of an inch on each side. So that's a
Okay.
quarter, right? And then out here, because this box here, the outside of it is, if that number here, I'll put a dimension on that, is 25.25. I have to move 25.25. Then each of these from here to here is 3.25, because it's, the way I got that is it's 2.5, which is the diameter of a tube, 2.5, plus the plywood, which is 3/4. So that's how you get the, so anyway, you have to, the outside of your square, so from here to here, that dimension there is 6.5, 2 times this plus this, so that's 31.75, which is equal to the 25.25 plus 2 times 3.25. Right, that's, this here is 6.5 plus this works out to be 31.75. So anyway, that's your thing. You should make you should make 2 boxes, or one way of doing it would be to make 2 boxes, extrude it down 5 inches, and then put radiuses where are all the places that you need them. Okay,
Okay, thank you.
cool. All right, how's everybody else doing? I'm going to let me get out of here. Stop. Go to my mouse. Go to here. Go to recently opened. No, go to Teams, TJ, Joe folder, cartoon class. All right, so the bumper, okay. How is the chassis coming? Owen. Okay, he's got pieces. Cool.
Yeah, it's coming good. I'm working on adding the holes for the swerve drive right now.
Okay. All right, that's a little more detailed than potentially we need, but let's get it started. That's why. Okay. Okay, actually, you know what? Before you do that, can you just make a version and then I'll bring your version in. And then also, yeah, then you can make a version, we can bring that in. Okay, Tub, how are we doing, Zachariah? Okay. You've got a thing. What's the next thing you're going to be doing?
I'm trying to like make the walls now.
Okay.
I'm just
So what's your
I'm having a hard time finding the dimension button. It's like not showing up.
you're having a hard time showing dimensions. What do you mean? Like,
Like the button. Like
oh, so you're saying because maybe it's so you have to go into a sketch first of all. So if you go into this sketch, then the dimension button, you're saying this button here isn't showing up?
yeah.
Huh. Um,
I mean,
maybe you can share your screen and then I'll stop and then I'll try to get you unstuck. Yeah, let me do that. I'm gonna exit here. Exit, stop sharing, and I'm going to get out of that CAD. I'm gonna get out of your CAD so we don't end up having two people working on the exact same files. And then can you share your screen and then we can I can see what's going on. Okay, so what is it you mean when you say you can't see the numbers?
so even if so do I have to like be in the sketch? I have to create a new sketch?
So in order to make a sketch, you have to, in order for you to dimension something, unless you're in a drawing, which we're not doing, yeah, you need to be in a sketch. You need to be editing a sketch. And then once you're editing a sketch, you'll find that so right now, if you look up right here, there's nothing to add a dimension because you just aren't doing it. You could add a variable, but variables aren't dimensions. So anyway, but now go in and right click on sketch and edit that.
Oh,
Okay.
edit.
And now all of a sudden, yeah, it's available. The dimension button is right there. Right. So what I think would be a really good way of making this is there's a tool called Hollow. So why don't you just make a block that's the dimension that you want it to be, and then we'll hollow it afterwards, and then we can do a cut to make the side dimension. So if you just made like a rectangle, then or like a big block that was the dimensions you wanted, we could take and then hollow it here, and then we'll cut off the side on the side after we get done. So let's yeah. So yeah. So you've got the dimensions that you want this to be. So let's say it's got to fit inside the let's make it 24 inches wide. It'll be only a ½ inch shorter than the robot is wide.
24 inches.
24 inches, yep. And I don't know how much room silver is going to have, but let's assume it's an 8-inch ball. So let's assume that we're going to need something like 6 inches or so for silver's intake. So if it's a 25-inch, wide robot, and we want to be right up to the back, but we need 6 inches off, so we need to be 19. So I make it 19 on that dimension. One of the dimensions should be 19. Yep, good. And then And then you can just extrude that up, and let's make it extrude it like 12 inches tall. There's no up to face, just make it blind. 12 inches. Yep, hit enter.
Oh.
Cool. All right. So that's our thing. Now, the only thing now we can do is we can turn this into a hollow box super easy by just using this this button here. And then touch the top surface. Yep, click on the top surface. Click there. And then make it 1/8 of an inch, because we're going to make it. Oh, where's my? Yep, cool. Hang on a minute. It said parts to hollow. Hang on a minute. Did I pick the wrong feature? Yeah, you should be able to pick the surface and pick the top surface. It's not hollow. Wait a minute, something is wrong. Oh no, instead of hollow, click off hollow. Click off that button hollow. There we go. And now faces to remove. That's the one. Yeah, that's beautiful. That's what we wanted. Okay, cool. All right. Click OK. Yep. And now let's get a side view of this. And then we just want to like make, we just want to like cut that edge there. So you could do this a number of ways. If you wanted to, you could just do a chamfer on that edge and it'll work. There's a feature called chamfer here. And then if you clicked on this edge right there. So actually get rid of all of these, but just the only thing you need is just the edge, just the edge, not that edge, the other edge. Zoom in so we can see it. Zoom in, and we want it to be this. We want it to be this edge right here. There, that edge. You clicked it twice.
Oh.
Yep, click. Good. And now it's 12 inches tall, and we want this to be 6 inches tall. So make it like 6 by, oh, instead of equal distance, you need to change it to be distance. 2 distances. Make one of them 6 inches, and the other one make it 12 inches. Click someplace else. So just click to enter, hit, yeah. No, that's not the right one. So let's flip it. Flip it. Oh, it turns out 12 inches isn't right. I somehow I imagined it was 12 inches. So just keep it moving until you get this closer to the place you want it. You want it to be, I don't know, maybe that is okay. Maybe it's fine. Yeah, that seems like a perfectly good tub. Yeah. All right, let's make a version of that tub. Owen, have you already made a version of your tub? Or not your tub, but your chassis?
I have made like a version. It's like just
Cool.
a simple version.
That's fine. All right, so can you stop sharing? Stop participant sharing. I just stopped your sharing. I'm going to share now. Share screen, share screen, share screen. And now if I go to top level, I am going to import. So I'm in the assembly. I'm going to insert. And I'm going to insert other documents. Other not from, yeah, from chassis. And I think, do I insert all of them? I think I can insert all of them, right? Or do I just actually, no, hang on a minute.
I
Don't
think
do
if
it
you
that
hit
way.
Part Studio 1.
Insert, yeah, just do the whole Part Studio. Yeah. Cool. All right. So you'll enter all of those other things eventually, and they will come in. Now, the problem is these are not, these parts aren't, they're not connected to anything. So I'm going to grab all of them, and I'm going to make a group. And now at least they'll move together. And I guess, how should we decide what our, how high this thing should be? We should, you know what, I'm going to do a fasten. I'm going to fasten from that to that. And I'm going to do an offset of, we want the top of the bumpers to be 7 inches. Is that true? Or how high do we need the bumper, not the bumpers, the frame to be for I'm just gonna move them up 6 inches for right now. Might be too high, but that'll be fine. All right. So now this is the chassis is in here. Who else? Can I import the bumper yet? J.R.
No.
Lynn.
Can you check it to see? I
Yeah,
don't think I did it
Let's
right.
look at it. Okay, let me look at it. I'll go to bumper. Okay, it's looking pretty good, except I think, let me, when you look at this fillet, I think your fillets are too big. So if you do this, edit this fillet here, instead of making it a 2.5, that's the radius. It should be 1.25. And hit enter. And yeah, it's looking quite good. Okay. Now, the next thing is I'm a little bit worried that from here to here, how far is it? 3.75. I said 3.75, but did I lie? I think it should be 3.25. But let's, you know what? I'm going to make a version right now. Starting somewhere. And you're going to fix it and make it a new one, a new version, and you're going to say fixed thickness or something like that, right? So that we can see the new one. Maybe you can change the bumper to be more like a first bumper, which is either red or blue, not this kind of aqua number. Okay, so you
Right,
can
and
do
what-
that.
And what do you want the dimension of it again? The new dimension?
Okay, so the dimensions, I'm gonna show you what so the dimensions, there's a 2x4, or there's a piece of wood, sorry, that's 3/4 inches tall, so 0.75. Then there are 2 round things, and the round things have a diameter of 2.5 diameter. Okay, so from here to here should be what? .25, right?
Yeah.
Okay. But
Okay, so
even
you
if you did,
want 3.25 instead of 3.75?
yes. And you should first of all, you should also change the name to something that makes sense, because it should be called bumper or something.
Okay.
All right. So clear. All right. And you're going to do that whilst I am going to leave your part, and we're going to go into, I'm going to go into top level. And now I can insert. And this time I'm going to insert from other assemblies. And instead of under bumper, I'm going to do the part studio and click OK. All right. So now, which way was even up? Up was this way. Okay, cool. What's the distance between, well, let's just, I'm going to put this guy in here. I don't know which way is the top. So it's possible that I'm going to do it upside down if we ever to do anything that breaks that, but I can do an assembly here. I can make this, what do I want to do? I can do, you know what? I don't know exactly where this thing is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put an assembly, a thing on this that's going to be Yeah, so now I've got a who owns it? Part non-entity, right? Okay, so now I've got a mate connector on there, and now I can then do a mate, and I can mate this mate connector with hang on, I need to hide it with that. All right. It looks like that's fine. I want it to go up 7 inches, so I can do an offset, and I can make the Z offset 7 inches. Oh, make the Z offset minus 7 inches. Okay, perfect. I think our chassis is too high, so I'm going to go back and edit the fasten here. Edit that, and make that be only 5 inches. I don't know if that's true or not, but there we go. All right. Has anybody made a new version or done anything that we can bring in? Should I bring the tub in next?
I made a
Who's
new
ready?
version of the chassis. It just has
All
the
right.
extra holes in it.
Perfect. I'm going to update all here, and we're hopefully going to see a beautiful, colorful bumper.
Oh, wait, I have to do the color. Hang on.
It's too late. You have to make a new version, an even newer version, but we'll see if the dimensions look better in a second here. Okay, cool. Yeah, let's see. So if I measure from that point to that point, it's now 1.25. Yeah, that is the right number. So that's cool. And what about if I measure how long this wall is? Yeah, 25 and 1/8. Nope, that isn't right. It should be 25 and 25.25, because what I want is a bumper. Actually, I'm looking at you, Owen, and saying something isn't right here, right? Because she's 25 and 1/8, and this looks like a way bigger gap than a 16th.
Joe, when you
Let
inserted
me
it, did
check
you
my
change the
dimensions.
offset?
Hmm?
When you inserted it, did you change like the offset or something?
I changed the offset for the I have them mated. They're not, none of them are mated to each other. They're just mated to the origin. So I have offsets for the two different pieces. Yes.
Oh yeah,
There's
I'm 22 right now, not 25.
22. That's
So let me update
ridiculous.
that.
All right. All right. Let's see. Zechariah, have you made a version of the tub yet?
I just
gonna
made a
go look.
cartoon version of the intake.
Okay, cool. Let's okay, can you give me some pivots too? But I'm
I
yeah.
have the holes for a pivot. Do you mean you want me to add pivot beams
Can you just
that go onto the
make some
chassis?
pivots that put it, yeah, from the chassis? Actually, Owen, how high is your chassis from the ground? Do you know?
Like from my origin?
No. In real life, when you build the swerve chassis, which looks like what you're building,
Oh yeah.
how high should this surface be from if this point is on the ground?
Ooh, probably like after the wheels and stuff, it would probably end up being like I want to say like 2 to 3 inches.
Okay, this is a case where we can go to Swerve Drive Specialist. MK4, go to the module. There's going to be a drawing someplace. Parts list, assembly guide. Layout file. Okay, so it's telling me that it's 3.75. The top of the chassis should be 3.75. Does everyone see what I'm talking about? Yes, no?
Wouldn't that be the bottom of the chassis?
Isn't it the top, or does the bar go up here?
Yeah.
Yeah, it goes right there.
You sure it doesn't go down low? Okay, I'm wrong. So it should be, so if that's the case, clear all, then it is. No, I don't believe you guys. I think it goes below.
Check the
I
CAD
think
of
what you're
the
thinking is like the
2023 robots.
bumpers. The bumpers hang below the wheel, so it looks like less.
Yeah. Here,
This swerve module is also different from ours because it has
yeah,
the motors on
that's
top.
not the 4i, that's just the 4.
Okay, let's do the 4i then, because I am very confused.
Here, Joe,
Get
I
out.
have the 2022 robot up, or the 2022 summer robot up that has the main
L-
drive base.
Okay, what's
I
the
can
number then?
share.
Yeah, I got to stop sharing. Hang
The
on.
number of 375 is correct from the bottom of the chassis.
Yeah, that's what I said. 375. So,
Yeah, you said from the top though. You said you swore the beam went on the bottom half.
ah,
It goes in. It's sandwiched.
okay. So
Yeah,
how high is what's the dimension we need then? The top of
from the
the top of the
chassis
two,
to the
the top of
floor plane.
the 2x4, the top of the 1x2.
The top of the 1x2 to the floor plane, if we have a floor plane. Actually, wait. If we're looking for the bumpers, right?
No, I want the chassis first.
Do. Call that the base. From the top of the chassis there, we want a y distance of roughly 2. That doesn't make sense.
No, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I think that might be the problem was where you're looking at the Mark IV, not the 4i.
Okay,
Because this is how it looks on all of our stuff. Let me make a plane really quickly. That might help us.
okay. All right. I am going to
I'll stop my share.
sure. All right. Yes. So let me go back to
I think I might have been lied to by something. Let me double check. Oh yeah, no, it's not 2.
oh, I see. Hang on. It's
Yeah, I was looking at the complete wrong number. It's 375.
all right. Okay. All
Yeah,
right. So
from the top of the
375.
chassis to the bottom, it's 375. I was looking at the
Okay.
Y value because I was just playing a game that had the coordinates flipped.
Okay. Cool. All right. So I'm going back to this guy. So from in this guy, I have an offset. When I made this guy, and instead of being, it should be 475 because of the how come I can't edit this? Oh, am I in swerve mode? No, am I in? Oh, sorry. All right, fasten, edit. It should be 3.75 plus 1 because it's the middle of the thing. And let me just make sure now. So if I go from this surface to that point, and I have to tell it in here. It's 575. I'm 2 inches too tall. Okay. Fasten, edit. -1. Okay. All right. So from there to there, we look at this. It's 375. Good. All right. So that one is good. this other one is now terrible. So edit this one. Edit this one. That one is saying it's 7 inches up. Is that possible? Yeah, that could. Yeah, that could be possible. So hang on a minute. If I do a measurement from this plane to this plane, it should be 7 minus 375. So yeah, 2 1/4. Okay, cool. All right, what else? I can do any other new things I can insert? Should I insert the tub? Other documents, go and grab the tub. Tub doesn't have doesn't have a version yet. Who has a version? So Silver, could you build? Well, first of all, the bumper is on version 3. Chassis is also version 3. Let's do the latest just so we can update all. You should have a beautifully colored bumper at this point. Nice. Okay. All right. So that's looking good. Silver, you've got a version, but we don't have any way of making the pivot. So if you could make the pivot build, yeah, how can we build?
I'm
How
working
can
on
we?
that right now, actually.
Okay, cool. All right. So
Although now that I look at the way the chassis is, I'm gonna need to make some sort of like angled beam like we did for the summer bot in
yeah,
2022.
for right now, we'll just assume we have a flat plate someplace up here, and we'll be able to move your part to make this work.
Okay.
So I'm gonna look at who's left. We've got the shooter. How is the shooter coming? Okay, that's pretty cool. Nice. So so what you should do when you're building, so typically when you're building a shooter, if I were to go on this, we want these to be the same radius, the same centers. So and you should rename the parts to be so you should rename the parts to be like hood and wheel or shooter wheel or something like that. And then but then they ought to be at the same radius. So this, whatever is on this radius ought to be the same as that radius. Do you understand what I mean? You're not able to talk. But anyway, I think you can fix that. So yes, why don't you fix that? And then after you fix that, then make a version here. And then we can import that in. All right, I'm going to go back to mousing. They're all okay. This so how wide have you made this? Hopefully it's about as wide as a ball, 12 inches. That'll work. It's an 8-inch ball. Okay. So what else have we got? We've got the tub. What's going on with the tub? So the tub is looking pretty good. Zechariah, what's keeping us from making a version of this? Yes, no. Hang on a minute. I should look at the chat. I haven't been looking at the chat.
I haven't
Yeah.
heard anything from Eamon since the previous question that I answered.
Okay. All right. Zachariah, are you still with us?
I have a question.
Yeah, I see him. Yep. What's up,
Am
Paul?
I allowed to do what we did with like the summer bot where we made like the chassis like extra big?
I don't know why we'd want to do that.
I mean, it's just the chassis. You can make it however you want to. Sure.
Nice.
Yeah. So, okay. So let's see. Zachariah, have we lost you? Are you still here? Okay.
I'm still here. Is my mic working?
Yeah, so it is. So why don't you make a version and then why don't you start, well, let's walk you through bringing this part into the assembly. So I'm gonna stop sharing, and I'd like you to bring your part into the top
Eamon has
level.
a question.
Okay, what's up, Eamon? Show the chat. Can you explain what I need to do again? Okay, yes, I will explain. What you need to do, I'm going to go back. I'm going to share screens for a second. Sorry, Zachariah, I was about to let you take over, but now I'm going to do this again. Okay, so here, when I look at the shooter here, what we need to do is, hang on, gotta make everybody disappear, and I've got to get rid of this chat. Okay, I'm going to leave the chat so that I can see it. If I do this view, these two circles should be this edge and this edge ought to be on the same center, and there ought to be 8 inches in between them. So if I look at what you've done here, so I'm going to roll back the model tree. So you made a sketch, then you made another sketch, and then you swept that sketch to make your thing. Perfectly good. All right. Now, then you did another one to make your circle, but you didn't put your circle at the center of this. So what I would suggest you do is when you make that circle here, if you make these visible, like if I make that guy visible right there, and then when I'm in this sketch right here, edit, I can use this feature right here. I can say, oh, you and you are actually on the same center. And now it looks good, except it isn't right for, so now if I roll this model tree forward, that's what I would want to do, but I'm not sure if they're the right distance yet, because is this distance between here and here, the center distances are 0, but the minimum distance is only 2 inches, 2.5 inches. And we want the minimum distance to actually squish a ball that's 8 inches. So we want to, how much squish should we do, Silver, for a shooter? So we need a couple of things I need to kind of work out. So up here, when you're doing this one, right, you should make this radius here. When I edit this guy, you should put a dimension on here. If I go edit this guy, you don't have any, that's 8 inches, that's an 8-inch radius, but it isn't an 8-inch. So what you should do is, I'm going to draw it real quick. You should put in, oh, we're going to have a 4-inch wheel. This is the shooter wheel, 4 inches. And then the distance, instead of being this distance being 8 inches, we need to put another ball in here. And that ball is going to be 8 inches. Oh, hang on a minute. I'm doing it wrong. Get out of that mode. Turn that guy into a sketch. All right. So then, or into a construction. And I'm going to make that an 8-inch ball. And in addition to that, I'm going to make it so that the squish is going to be from there to there. Let's make it a 0.75-inch squish. And now, finally, we can say, oh, what I really want is I want this to be tangent to that. Boom, boom. I want those tangent. How come did that work? Tangent, boom. There, and now they're good. The last thing we would probably want to do is put in another piece of construction geometry like this. Oh, you've already got it. Why'd you get the 140? You got the 140, but you don't actually sweep out to that. I'm not sure why you did it that way, but anyway, I would make this dimension more like, I don't know, 60 degrees. Not 60. There, okay. And now, when you do your things, all right, you see now I've got oh, wait a minute, I don't have a 4-inch rotor, this sketch here, edit this. I should make these guys equal. Concentric, you and equal. You and you. Good. Now it's good. Okay. So those are that's how you should have, that's what I wanted you to make, is to make something that's more like that. So now I'm going to undo all of that. And you're going to do it over again. Okay? All right, Eamon, give me a thumbs up in the Slack channel. I'm good. Okay, so I'm going to yeah, so I'm going to undo all of that work I did. Okay, I undid everything I did, and now you can then do that. All right, so I'm leaving here. I'm going to stop sharing, and we're going to go back to Zachariah. It's time for you to bring your tub into the design. So can you start sharing, and then we can
Okay.
do it. Okay, so now, first of all, we need to make a version. So make a version.
How do I do that again?
You're gonna want the little, yep, Joe just pointed to it.
Oh, it's right. Oh, that's
Right.
right there.
And then put in the words, even if for the beginning, just say V1, leave the V1, because we want to leave, yeah. And then just say space, just say first version or something like that. And then after that, you can say things like fix this. No, put it up here, put it up there. Make it V1 space, and then type something. So you got to start somewhere. You can make a joke if you want to. 4 and 7 years ago, whatever you want to do, fine. Then click OK, and you're good. Okay, so now we've got a version. All right, now you want to go into the top level, and you want to bring this version into your thing, into the top level. So you need to go up to Onshape here, and then you open up the top level. Okay, just because you might as well, let's bring, now there are some new versions in. You're going to bring the new version in. Wait a minute. Let's go. Oh, sorry. You have to go to the assembly. We're working the assembly now.
Oh.
Yep. In fact, let's delete the Part Studio, because we don't want, this is the top level, shouldn't have any Part Studios in it. So right click, delete that. Yep. Good. All right. So we got the assembly. All right. So we want to bring your part in. So to bring your part in, we do insert.
Oh.
Nope. Sorry. Yeah, it moved when you moved it. So I got to do my clear. Insert over here. And now you need to go to other documents. Recently, yep, there we go. Tub. Wait a second. Why doesn't Tub know that it has a version? Go back into Tub.
You may not have hit
find...
create.
Oh, we might not have hit create. All right, let's go back in and create it. You could do it from here, but let's do it the way you're supposed to. I mean, yeah. So go back into Tub, Onshape, Tub, version. Nope, it already has version 2.
Yeah, I already created it. I think it's because I have 2 ones. So the first one, I made it on my.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Yes. So okay, we were looking at the wrong document. Yeah. So go to Onshape again, or top level again, and then open. Instead of created, do assembly, other documents, and then instead of tub, go. Oh, are we looking at the no? Click this arrow here. Okay, go back, instead of go up again. Go into TJ squared. And then do the Joe Joe folder somewhere in there? Joe folder,
There it is.
tub. Yep, okay, yep. Click there. Actually, you should call it tub, and then in a future version, you should call it tub. Yep, okay, click OK. Drop it anywhere, it's fine. Okay, good, click OK. I think the best the way to do this is, I think, let's do it with respect to the back surface. So what you want to do, hang on, let me do clear all my things. Right now we want to fasten your tub. All right, and the place we want to fasten the tub is we need then
It's like
select.
inside of this bumper.
So what I think you should do, let's put it on the very back of the robot. So there's a zoom in really close onto that, and let's pick that back edge there. Pick that the back edge. That's the front edge of that thing. Pick the back edge. Pick the. Okay, when you shoot, I can't really. You have to be careful when you're when you're selecting these things. You have to pay attention. You want you want to pick this edge, and you want the middle of that edge. And we want to kind of find it. We want to find one where the Z is pointing straight up this way. So you have to kind of approach it from different areas. Like maybe try touching this surface. There. Can you see? Move it over, move to the back.
If you hold that surface, if you hold shift while you're on that surface, you can select that point.
Okay.
In that
So
orientation.
then hold shift and then hold that button. No, we haven't. So you want to get a make connector. Yeah, that's it. Right. Click right there. Good. You got it. Okay. So that's just, we want only one of them. Sorry. So somehow delete all of those, both those. You have to get just that one piece. Move back, move. You need to get the one that's right on that edge, but pointing up there. Do you see? Nope, that's not you. Now it's pointing to the side. You want it pointing up. Move in towards, move like right here. There, click right there. Do you see? Now you've got that one. Now we need to go look at the other part. The other part we want, go back, and you want to look at the back edge of your part, the back edge. So turn it around, turn the part around. Okay, and we want to have this one, but it's got to also have the Z in the same orientation. So now you see that's the Z in the wrong there. You click like right around there. There. Do you see how which orientation the Z is in? All right, now zoom out and let's see what it's done. Oh, it did it exactly what we wanted to. All right, click OK. Yeah. All right, so now we've got it. Now, if you actually, let's do a section right now. Hit Control X or Shift X, sorry. And then click on some vertical wall here. Let's do a section through the middle of this thing. And then drag it until it's in the middle. Yep, drag it over. Yeah, that looks good. That's fine. That's fine. All right, and then let's look at it from the right side here. Click the right icon right up here. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's kind of exactly what we wanted, right? That's how we wanted this thing to be mated. I think it's good, right? All right. Very nice. So you can either X out of this or leave it in. It's fine. Okay. So who's left? What's left? We don't have Silver as your oh, yep.
I have what are basically pivot points on mine.
Sure. Let's why don't you drive and you enter, you bring your thing in and just walk us through what you're doing it as you're doing it.
All right, I think I've already made a V2. So
Okay, cool.
let me just so I have this. It's
Okay.
literally nothing special.
All right.
Hold on really quick because I'm fancy. I made.
You put it in an assembly. Okay, cool. Very nice.
Yeah. And if it would behave, it's not going to. Okay. Point is, it's supposed to turn, but either way.
Okay.
Now we can go to here. Top level. Insert. Really quick, real talk. I'm just gonna.
Everybody update. Yep.
There we go. Insert. Mm -hmm. Intake. Take the whole part studio. Let's just drop it.
So now, unlike what happened with Owen, because he has put the assembly,
Oh, yep. Hold up.
he's
Boop.
inserting the assembly. Right. When he inserts the assembly, it has all of the right constraints, just like the assembly had. You see, so it
Oh,
moves
I've
all of
already
the pieces all
noticed.
together.
I need to somehow or another shift this. Probably switch the plates from the outside to the inside so that this can connect, but that's for a later problem. Right now,
Okay.
there's a quick and easy fix. It's quick, it's easy, and it's free. All we got to do, we can fasten. It doesn't really matter the direction you do it as long as they're both in the same direction.
Mhm.
So in my case, I don't want to do that.
You have to pay attention. Yeah, just paying attention to which way the Z is oriented is the thing you need to worry about.
Yeah. And in this case, we want that one. And in this
Okay.
case, we can just offset it. And that would be in the negative X. So let's just do 0.75. That looks good to me. Check that.
Okay.
And we can just do the same for due diligence over here.
That one shouldn't, if your assembly, it should, well, I don't know. I'm not sure how your assembly was made, so that's fine. Yep.
Yeah, I already forgot how I did the first one, so we can just double check that. Right, it was the middle and the corner.
So can you actually move your intake now or not?
I want to fasten this one down first, but then yes. Offset. And 0.75. Boom. And now it should. Oh, look at that. It's not
Awesome.
exactly in perfect
I
place.
mean, it doesn't quite work, but you know, we're
Yeah,
this is
the
what
bumper is
Colette called
looking
Cartoon CAD.
quite large, but you know.
Is it? Did I get the dimensions wrong?
I think the thickness is incorrect. I think it's
Is it only 2 inches instead of 2.5 inches, maybe?
What we
oh,
could
that is very
do.
much not 2 inches. That is 3 7/7.
Yeah, but it's got a 3/4 inch piece of plywood also. So I don't know. I'm not sure what to
It's
say.
2.75. Yeah, it's 2.75 because the bumper fabric is negligible. 2.5 inch diameter plus.
Oh, I said 3.2. Oh, right. I just off by one error. Okay, so Kiara Lynn, can you why don't you start sharing?
Oh,
You can
and it has
fix it,
another update. Boop. Let's just
make
do
a
that.
new version.
Oh, that
And
update might break a few things.
Oh, and oh, everything looks fine. Everything's happy.
okay, cool. So the only thing we have left to do is we want to bring in the shooter also, but let's quickly fix the bumper. So Carolyn, it's your turn to share and take over.
Okay.
Make a new version.
So what are we
Fix the
doing?
so it's only 2 1/4, not 3 1/4. I have it an inch too wide. That's my problem. So that it should be that should be 2 inches less. Should be 30.75.
Okay.
Cool. Okay. Make a new version. Call it fix Joe's mistake.
Okay.
You can call it whatever you want to. It doesn't really matter. Right. So actually, can you do,
Those look
before
like
you
legal
disappear,
bumpers.
can you go and like go just to show why, click on that button right there. Can you see now the reason that it's nice to put something in here is because if you put it in the name, you could actually go in and like right click and hit properties, like right click on that guy, and you could hit properties. And it'll tell you like, oh, you could have a small novel in here, right? And you'd say all the things you change. But it's so nice to have it like in the title, because in the title you see it in this one really quick. Instead of having to click all these things and say like, oh, what version was it that I fixed Joe's mistake? Ah, it was that version. So easy. Okay. So you
Okay.
can put more information in here if you wanted to. Like if you really wanted to know the dimensions, like there were some, I moved this 0.75 blah, blah, blahs, you know, so many. So click OK, close that up. Yep. And then now you've made your version. Let's go to the top level and update it for us.
So how do you update it?
So this icon right here, this little blue icon there.
Okay.
All right. Okay. So yeah, our problem is that we can't. I think the other bumper is ready. So why don't you put the shooter? Let's grab the shooter real quick. So while you're doing this, you're going to install the shooter for us. So now you need to go to insert, this button here, and you go to other documents and click on that button there. How did we get that? Where are we? Go to TJ, go to the Joe folder. You have to go through all of the things. Joe folder. You missed it. Up, up, up. Not too far. Sorry. There. And then cartoon. And then we're doing the shooter. There's no version. Okay, so why don't you open that version? Well, actually, we can create a version from here. Let's. This is what you do if you're in a hurry. It's the end of class. So, oh, it's not done. It'll be done enough. We'll just make another version. You can fix it later. Let's just get it installed. So create a new version here. Type it like you know, blah blah blah. Doesn't really matter. The first one doesn't really matter because it's the first one. Right. Okay, cool. Create. And then grab the whole part studio. Ooh, wait, that's grabbing all of the, so we did a bad thing. Yes, this is terrible. All right, so this is the problem with forcing it from the other side is I think we're gonna end up having to end the class here, but here's the problem. There aren't any parts because we're in the middle of editing. And so since the person was in the middle of editing, we made a version that was just in the middle of editing, and there's nothing in here. So we can't do this right now. So let's just exit out of this, and we will have to do this as an exercise for tomorrow. Okay. All right. Wow. So anyway, that's the basic idea of things, guys, is that you'd be working. So it's going to be the kickoff. We'll be like, hey, I'm trying to figure something out. And we're going to see if we can fit 5 balls into a tub. Well, we need a tub. All right. Well, Zechariah, make us a tub. All right. We're going to need an intake. Silver, take over the intaking. Owen, we need some sort of a chassis. And so we'll divide everything up and then we'll bring it back together. And then we can have conversations about it. Anyway, so this is basically how we're going to be working live when we get to the point when we're trying to design our robot in the spring. So I know that went really fast, but are there questions or comments, or what did people think?
I thought it was great because
right.
I feel like this is really going to help just the team work better together once kickoff like eventually
Yeah.
comes.
So yeah, once my expectation is that if you're CADing, you're in a huddle, so that anybody who's CADing can always be you. It's just like you're able to talk to people. You know, you're able to jump into other people's CAD and stuff, things like that when you're stuck. So that's how we will be doing it, and we will all be able to work in each other's CAD and make versions and yeah. All right, so I'm going to hit end recording unless there are more questions. Going once, twice.